Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breaking the Silence podcast. And today we're going to be talking about how my therapy has been a positive experience. How therapy is such a positive experience in order for you to understand that therapy is something positive. Because there's a lot of stigma around therapy, there's a lot of discrimination, there's a lot of people that don't like therapy, there's a lot of people that doesn't think therapy is helpful. But for me, therapy has been such a positive experience. Therapy for me has been such a rewarding experience. Therapy for me has been such a emotional and enlightening experience. And I wanted to get into that today because I wanted to try and destroy the stigma surrounding therapy. I wanted to clarify from a patient's point of view. Disclaimer, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not claiming to be any of those things. I'm just a patient, someone who engages in therapy, someone who has a therapist, and I just want to give my views and my opinions on therapy because therapy is I guess it's something that can be good, or people sometimes might think it's a bad thing. And for me, yes, I thought it was a bad thing initially. It took me ages to find the right therapist who I could connect with, who I could open up to, and it will take time. You will have to find the right therapist for yourself. You will have to find the right therapist that you connect with, that you feel comfortable in opening up. Because don't forget, therapy can be very scary, and it was very scary for me initially because you have to go and see a stranger and open up about your deepest, darkest fears, your deepest, darkest traumas, your deepest, darkest secrets, and you have to be able to converse with that stranger and tell them how you're feeling. That's why it's scary. That's why people are apprehensive when it comes to therapy, because opening up to a stranger can be challenging. It can be something that you might not feel comfortable doing. But once you find the right therapist, once you find the right counselor, you will feel a lot better about it. Because don't forget, the therapist can only help guide you. You're the one that has to put in the work. You're the one that has to share your story. If you're not giving anything into the therapy session, if you're not putting anything into the therapy session, then the therapist is not going to be able to help you. You have to be willing to put the work in. You have to attend these therapy sessions. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to share your story with a stranger. And in my experience with my therapist, it's been an amazing, positive experience that has shown me that I can turn things around. It's empowered me to feel better about myself, and it's something that I would recommend to anyone going through mental health issues. Therapy, counseling is a positive thing. Therapy and counseling is something that is so rewarding for you, and you will feel empowered about sharing your story. And once you have, you will feel like, once you have put in the work, once you have a block of however many sessions it takes, once you get to that point of a breakthrough, once you get to that point of I feel better, the weight of the world is lifted off your shoulders, and that's what therapy did for me. Because when I first went to therapy, I was quiet. I wouldn't open up. It was quite an uncomfortable situation because the therapist was trying to talk to me, but I was just, my mind wasn't there. It was just elsewhere, and I didn't want to open up to a stranger. And it took me a long time to find the right therapist. But when I did, it felt normal. It felt natural to open up to my therapist because she made me feel comfortable. And that's important. You have to find a therapist that makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel like you're in a safe environment. Because, you know, opening up to strangers is a scary thing, for a lot of people, and it was for me. But I can only talk about my personal experience, and my personal experience with therapy and counseling is it's a positive one. Um, it's got me to a point in my life where I've dealt with my past. It's got me to a point in my life where I'm dealing with my traumas. I'm able to deal with those. I'm able to let those things be in the past. So I can only speak from my own point of view. And therapy for me has been a positive, rewarding, empowering experience. Um, and it took a while for me to find the right therapist, but once I did, it showed me that I can do this. It showed me that if I'm willing to participate in the therapy and the counseling sessions, I can improve and I can get better. Because I'm sure many people around the world have had negative experiences with therapy, or with therapists or counselors. I'm sure that that is the case, and I'm sure there's an argument to say that therapy sometimes doesn't work. All I'm speaking from is my own personal experience with my counselor, with my therapist, what she did for me, how she structured the sessions, how she allowed me to empower myself to talk about my issues, and see that people make mistakes, people are human beings. Stop punishing yourself, stop being a prisoner to your past. Once you learn and understand those things from your therapist, you start feeling the rewards that you're getting from talking about your mental health issues. So, it is very rewarding, and it is very, very inspirational when you have a breakthrough. Um, and I never ever thought that I would be able to get to a place where I'm open and honest enough to say that I needed help to work through my issues. I needed help to work through my past. I needed a therapist. I needed a counselor. I couldn't do it on my own. I tried to do it on my own, but I was self-harming. There was suicide attempts. The mental health issues were too powerful for me to deal with on my own. I needed to find that acceptance that I needed help. And once I did, and once I found the right counselor, I saw how therapy can be so beneficial to you. I felt how therapy can be so beneficial to you. So for me, therapy is a positive experience. Therapy for me is needed in your mental health journey. You have to put the work in. You have to go through these things. You have to discuss these things. You have to make sense of these things. But the journey is so rewarding once you do. You feel so empowered by the therapist. And when I had my breakthrough, when I started to understand, that my past is my past, and I don't live there anymore. The mistakes I've made, they're gone. I can't change them. I can't affect them. Once I understood that I was being overly critical on myself, I was being overly harsh on myself. Once I understood why I was doing those things, once I understood that I didn't have to do those things to me, I shouldn't be punishing myself for the rest of my life. Once you realize those things, you understand that you could get your life back. You start to understand that you can improve. You start to understand that you can do things. You start to believe in yourself more. You start to understand that whatever's gone on in the past is gone. The future's not here yet. Therapy grounds you in the present. Therapy grounds you where you are now, and it helps you understand where you've come from and where you're going. And I think we all want to know that. We all want a better understanding of how therapy can help us. We all want a better understanding of how therapy can help us grow as human beings, can help us make sense of what we've been through in life. And that's so powerful once you're able to do that. Once you understand and you make sense of what you've been through and why you've been through it and why you needed to go through it, you understand why your purpose is. And I found purpose. I found my purpose now. This is my purpose. Creating mental health content on YouTube is my purpose, and I gained that through therapy. I found that purpose through therapy and counseling. My therapist helped me find a path that I wanted to take and I wanted to pursue for the rest of my life. Being a content creator, being a mental health advocate, being a life coach, which I am now. I am a fully certified, fully professional life coach. And I did that, and therapy helped me get that. So I went from being someone who was suicidal and depressed with PTSD, severe anxiety, self-harming, and in a few years, from 2022 to 2025, I'm a new man. I'm reborn, and I became a life coach to give back to people. I didn't want to get into counseling, and I didn't want to get into therapy. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a part of someone's journey to improving themselves, be a part of their journey to better themselves. And I thought, I haven't got the skill set to be a counselor or a therapist, but the skill set I do have, where with over 20 years management experience in the retail sector, of managing people, of managing teams, of managing big stores, taking big money, with that skill set that I had and the purpose that I found through therapy and coaching, could I become a life coach? That's when I researched the subject. That's when I watched and listened to life coaches, and then I thought, yes, that's what I want to do. And then I studied and I got the diplomas in life coaching, multiple diplomas in coaching now, and I'm super excited to be a life coach. But I only gained that confidence because I went to therapy. I only gained that purpose because I engaged in therapy and counseling. And once you find the right counselor or therapist for you, you will have a breakthrough at some point that shows you that your life is worth living, and your life has meaning, and your life still has a purpose. Don't let negative experiences in the past of therapy stop you from going to find another therapist. If you need help, get the help that you need, but do your research. Find the best counselor for you, who you're comfortable with, who makes you feel safe, and who allows you to be you and empowers you to be yourself. Once you do that, therapy can be such a positive impact on your life, and it can help you make sense of what's going on in your head, and it can help you make sense of where you want to go in the future, and it can help you understand that your past is exactly that. It's gone. It's your past. You don't live there anymore. The mistakes you've made are gone. You can't change them. You can't affect them. But therapy taught me that by grounding myself in the present, by bringing myself back to the present, I'm a new man now. I'm a life coach now. I'm a YouTube content creator now. I produce content around in mental health to help people. This is what this channel was made for, to encourage and inspire people to talk about their mental health issues, to get help, to seek support, and grow a community on YouTube where people can come and feel safe and confident enough to share their story. And I would absolutely love some of my subscribers to get in touch with me, either in the comments or send me an email. If you want to come on the channel and share your story, and we can have a live talk over Zoom or Teams, and we can record the video, and I can put it up on my channel. If you want to share your story, if you're on a journey of self-improvement, self-discovery, and you want to share that story, you're all welcome on my channel. We can arrange to do a video. You can be a part of this channel. You can be a part of this community. I want to speak to you guys. I want to converse with you guys. I want to collaborate with you guys. So get in the comments below, send me an email. If you want to share your story, come on the channel now, and you can be a part of this podcast. We can record it and upload the episode. You can be a part of either a live video or a pre-recorded video, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you want to be a part of the channel, get in touch now. But back to therapy, back to the theme of the podcast. This is the 5th episode now of the Breaking the Silence podcast, and it's all about my experience with therapy and how it's positive. I want you to have the same experience. I want you to have those experiences with therapy, and I want you to understand how important that is on your journey through whatever mental illness that you're going through. Whatever you're feeling is okay. However you want to move forward is okay, but you don't have to do it on your own. That's why they're there. Therapists and counselors are great people who provide a great service, and for me, I can only talk positively about therapy, and it's important that I say that I'm confident enough to say that therapy was a positive impact for me. Therapy was a positive experience in my life, and I will always keep my counsellor now and my therapist. I will always work with her for the rest of my life, because it's always good to have someone to talk to about things, and that's what I want to do for my clients when I'm life coaching. I want to be someone who supports them, and I want to be someone who encourages them, inspires them to be something better. And that's my journey now. That's my purpose now. But therapy gave me that. Counseling gave me that. My therapist gave me that confidence, gave me that belief, gave me that purpose, and she helped me find it. So for me, I can only talk about therapy in a positive way because it's helped me massively. And if you've had a bad experience in therapy, if you've had a negative experience in therapy, I'm sorry that you've had that experience. But don't judge every therapist and counsellor by the bad experience you might have had. There is a therapist out there or a counsellor out there that will connect with you, that will make you feel safe, that will make you feel comfortable enough to share your story and talk about your pain, both emotionally and physically. There are great people out there who want to help, and I can only talk positively about my experience with my counselor and my therapist. So for me, therapy is a positive thing. Therapy is a positive aspect of mental health recovery, and it's shown me that recovery is possible. So you can do this. You can go to therapy, and you can get help. You can share your story. You can form a connection with a counselor or a therapist, and you can have the same positive experience that I had, and I'm still having with my counselor. She has played a massive part in saving my life in the last couple of years, and I can only talk positively about my experience in therapy. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm just a patient. I'm just someone who suffers with mental health issues. So I'm not saying therapy can do this, that, and the other. I'm not a counselor, therapist, or a doctor. I'm just someone who's been to therapy, and it's been positive for me. That's what I wanted to share in today's episode of the podcast. I wanted this 5th episode of the podcast to be me sharing my experiences with therapy and how it's helped me, because I know a lot of people find it hard to ask for help, seek help, and sometimes have a fear of going to therapy because you have to open up to strangers. So I wanted to share a positive experience that I've had with therapy and counseling, and I wanted to share that with you, because therapists and counselors They do a great job. Your mental health is as important as your physical health. And if you need to see a professional, please see a mental health professional. Don't let fear, stigma, or discrimination stop you from going to therapy, engaging in therapy, and being a part of something that empowers you to believe in your story and share it. Therapy, for me, is a positive experience. So if you need help, if you're looking for mental health help, please see a mental health professional, please see a therapist, and please do your research and find the right one for you. Because we're all different, we're all unique, and we all get comfortable in different situations. But you do deserve help. You do deserve help. And I promise you, if you engage in the help and you find the right counselor for you, it will be a positive, empowering influence on your life. And you will make sense of what's going on in your head. And I guess that's what we all want. We all want to know why we are a certain way, why we think a certain way. So for me, therapy is a positive experience. So go to therapy, take the leap, take the jump, and get the help that you need. And once you've worked through your issues, once you've worked through, whatever mental illness that you have, whatever mental health disorder that you have, then you want to start planning for the future. That's where life coaches can help. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to go through life alone. There are many avenues that you can go to get help and support. You don't have to take the journey of life alone. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether it be a therapist, a counselor, a doctor, a life coach, a business coach, or any other type of coach, you don't have to take life alone. You don't have to go this journey alone. So please understand that. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek help. It doesn't make you any less of a human being because you're asking for help. It means you're emotionally intelligent and you understand that your mind needs help. Your mind needs reframing. So understand that, embrace that, and embrace therapy and counseling. Thank you for watching episode 5 of Breaking the Silence podcast, all about therapy and how it was a positive experience for me. Hopefully it can be a positive experience for you. Tune in next week for episode 6 of the podcast. Remember, if you want to be a part of the channel, if you want to share your story on my channel, if you want to share your mental health journey on my channel, get in touch with me now and we can arrange to record a video and I will get it up on my channel where we can share and exchange our mental health stories, experiences, and stuff like that. It'd be great to do a video with some of my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe now, and be a part of this community that I'm building on YouTube. Because guys, every video that you watch, every video that you leave a comment on, every video that you leave a like on, you continue to help me. You continue to help be a part of my life. You keep giving my life purpose, and I can't thank you enough. All I can do is invite you on the channel to be a part of that, to feel a part of that, and it'd be great to record some videos with some of you amazing people out there around the world and let people know your story and your mental health journey. So if you want to be a part of the podcast, if you want to be a part of the channel, get in touch now and we will arrange something, and I will get you on the channel and you can share your story. You can share your mental health journey on my YouTube channel. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you've been through. I want to try and understand what you've been through. So please bear that in mind. Hit that subscribe button, smash a like on the video, comment, and I will see you next week for episode 6 of Breaking the Silence podcast. Any ideas for episode 6? Get in the community tab, drop me a message, let me know what you want me to talk about. If not, hopefully I can come up with something exciting and something that will hopefully engage and allow you to embrace the content that I'm putting out, because all I'm trying to do is help people. All I'm trying to do is inspire people. All I'm trying to do is be a better human being, be a better man, and share my experiences and share my journey through mental illness. Thank you for watching Breaking the Silence podcast. That was episode number 5. Therapy is a positive experience. And as always, guys, you know, my last piece of advice before I end this podcast episode is I would trust the timing of your life. And that basically means everything has happened for a reason in your life. And it's happened at the right time for you to change. Trust the timing of your life. Look after yourself, look after your family and friends, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Goodbye.